Hey guys, this is TheEnder, and I am back with the round of 4 of the Sonic All-Stars Tournament. We have, in the bottom left-hand position, on Fighting Spirit, the yellow Terran, Mind. And in the bottom right position, we have the red Zerg, Hero. So, this is a best of 5. We've already seen the other best of 5 for the round of 4. It was a TVT. I will try not to spoil that, but I will give you one slight spoiler. A Terran won. Haha, since they were both Terrans. Yes, so the winner of this game will go on to the final. And so it'll either be a TVT or a ZVT final. Please not a TVT. Please, Hero. Please win. But we saw the other series. There were some long games. There were some short games. There was a game that was longer than 40 minutes, so I had to split it into 2 pieces. So yeah. Let's see what we get. So I'm excited. I want Hero to win just because I almost always root for the Zergs, and I don't want a TVT final. But anything can happen. So this is a best of 5, and so the map is going to be Fighting Spirit, Blue Storm, Circuit Breaker, Neo Jade, and then Outsider. I would love for them to get to a set 5 so we can see Outsider. I would say it's an underplayed map, but I mean, hey, it's great that they're using it somewhat when things get to set 5. All right, so let's look at the builds. We have a 12 hatch with a drone scout for Hero, and we have a reasonably timed barracks for Mind. So this is going to be a reasonably standard game. Yeah. So we haven't seen much of Hero's play versus Terrans. I hope it's up to snuff. He really liked doing a 6-hatch Hydra play on 3 base versus Protoss, but versus Terran's Hydra play is not as quite as useful. Of course, it's great or decent enough against Mech, but due to damage types, Medic, Marine, they're light units. They only take half damage from Hydralisk, so you rarely see Hydralisk versus Marine. Usually, it's more of a Lurkerling into Ultra style. But we'll see. There are some playstyles you can do that are like literally mass Hydralisk versus Marines. It's an expensive army, usually rather all-in. You got to win it early, but it can be done. So all right, 3rd hatchery down and gas for Hero. So we're looking for a 3-hatch layer, probably into Mutalisks. Since he went for that 3-hatch, 3 hatcheries after the 12-hatch opening, he's got a whole lot of options. He doesn't have to do a whole lot of damage with the Mutalisks, which is always nice to know. Usually we see Zergs go up to something like 9 Mutalisks, they do some harassment, they fall back, and since they've got such a good economic opening, they can get Lurkers, even while they still get those 9 Mutas. But we'll see. So 2 Zerglings out to chase away the scouting worker. Completely standard on the other side. Mind went for an expansion, and he got a 2nd barracks. I don't think there was a crazy fast engineering bay yet, so very standard game. Of course, since this is Fighting Spirit, both of these players should have had plenty, and I mean hundreds and hundreds of games of practice on this map in every matchup, so I'm pretty sure that not too much is going to surprise either one, and the standard game is what everyone wants. Alright, so we have the Academy going down to get that stim out, to get the ComSat stations. Layer still not quite done. If this was a Lurker build, we probably would have seen a Hydra Den already. But of course, as the Scouting SCV has done a really good job staying alive, we haven't seen any more tech buildings. So in case people are wondering why there's 3 commentators in the corner rather than the 2 we've had in the prior games, I believe the center one is the legendary Kim Carrier. I say legendary because, even if you don't speak Korean, I'm sure you've heard the name. He was a very spirited commentator back in the golden Brood War days, and he loves carriers. Sadly, there's no carriers in the round of 4 or in the finals. Sorry if that's a shock to you that you didn't know that, but the last Protoss was eliminated, so it's no longer possible. Alright, so we have 9 Marines and 2 medics out. That's more than enough to push the Zerg back to his Sunkens at his base. But as the Sunkens are already down, 9 Marines versus 2 Sunkens, they're really not going to be able to break that. And if there's any kind of Zerglings out there, if they do engage, they're going to lose. Alright, so they walk out, the Overlord sees them, the Zerg, just to be safe, make sure he has 2 Sunkens. In this case it looks like he's actually going for 3. Okay, he cancels the 3rd one, yeah. And then the Terran, of course, goes home. Mainly because you really don't want to lose that first Marine group. It helps so much with the muted defense. I have seen strategies where Terrans will send out their first Marine group to the center of the map, and it's sort of an interesting little play you do to you want to keep the Zerg from taking his 3rd too early, and also if you need more time to get turrets up in your main, essentially it's sort of like sending a tribute out to the Zerg. It's like, yeah, you can kill these Marines in the middle of the map with your mutas, with some work. You can't just take them for free. But at the same time, I get the time that I need to protect myself, build up my defenses. But it is one thing that people have done. Alright, so we have turrets coming up in the natural. Most of them will be in time. Turrets up in the main, guarding the mineral line. I mean, due to the nice cliff you have here and the not much room behind the minerals, mutas can still harass, even though there's like 4 or so turrets. And that's mainly because the Terran doesn't have vision of the high ground. So some things they can do is, they can float a building to give them high ground vision, or they can scan, or they can just build more turrets so that when they do see the mutas they can attack. 3rd base going up in the top right corner for Hero. Very standard also. As a Zerg, you want to expand away from your opponent, and that's about as away as you can get. He's got a decent amount of Mutalisks, and it looks like he's going to stop that Marine group from canceling his 3rd. We should be seeing Lurkers pretty soon. However, that's a decent number of mutas. That's probably 11 mutas there. And of course the last spot is either a burrowed Zergling or an Overlord in that control group, and it helps your mutas to clump up better. And of course clumped mutas, they do much better at absorbing damage from the Marines. The damage is split up between a couple different mutas at once, so the mutas don't die, they just, regen slowly. Free medic, nice pickoff. That Marine group... Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say, that Marine group could actually go down. Because there's only about 9 Marines left. But then, right as I said that, 2 mutas got focused down, so you're not going to be able to cost-effectively trade. Oh, that Overlord escapes with 16 HP. That's rather nice. Alright, so you saw the Zerglings and the mutas work together to take out the Marine group. So, like I said, the mutas want to stack up, so that if the Marines just A-move, their damage is going to be split up across multiple mutalisks, and no individual mutalisk will die. They will regen their life back. Now, when you have the Terran is going to, they want to counter that, so they will actually try to focus fire their Marines on individual mutalisks, so all damage goes to an individual mutalisk, you have a greater chance of killing them. So that's where the Zerglings come in. So with the Marines targeting the Mutalisks, and the Mutalisks are running away, the Marines are just going to chase after them. And what happens? I mean, all of a sudden the Lings run in. The Lings are able to close the distance really easily because the Marines are just running, not, A-moving. And the Lings are able to do extra damage and help save the Mutalisks. Conversely, of course, the Marines can, take out the Zerglings, or, just A-move and fire on the Zerglings. But then they're not targeting the Mutalisks, and the Mutalisks, which are the more expensive units compared to the amount of life they have, they get to live, and they can do their damage. So, you've got different options, but all in all, Marines don't do as well against Muta-Ling as they do against just pure Muta. So we saw this first bunker for mine going up, and second one, and they're at the bridge. That's an interesting position. Bunkers are really useful for holding off lurkers, and he actually didn't get that first bunker that they normally get right next to the command center. Whoop! Mutants are going... Oh, that was terrible. So the mutants are trying to bomb the vessel, and what you do is you put a pair of Scourge in with your Mutalisk, so the Mutalisk will usually take the hits, and the Scourge will just get to run free into the vessel. But that went very badly, and instead he actually ran the entire distance of the Marines. Oh! Alright, so Hero is not in a good spot right now. He could just lose it. So we've got 3 lurkers guarding the Sunkens. We've got a couple more lurkers back behind the army, so there could be an opportunity for a pincer. But because he rushed out that the hive, he's just got very, very few units. Of course, when going against Medic Marine as a Zerg, hive is just so useful. Alright, he's going for it. He's going for it. Sink him, sink him. Yeah, alright, lurkers are in the ground. All the Marines die. Or pretty close. And the tanks are going to go down. Are the tanks going to... The tanks have to go down. Seriously? Like... Oh man, that... Okay, since the vessel got sniped and scans were slightly slow, it does get cleaned up, but just barely. Okay, a just barely cleanup is okay, and that's mainly because the 3rd base is up, it's mining, there's a Nidus going down, the hive tech is done, and there's a Defiler Mound on the way. Oh, but there's no Sunkens, you gotta be careful. With no Sunkens, you gotta be much more careful. Okay, so, Defilers are the Zerg's, like, ultimate defensive unit. Because under that Dark Swarm, range damage is not done to Zerg units. And so, you know, if you... Oh no, no Zergling. Oh, this is not good. So, yes, if you get Zerglings under that Dark Swarm, they will not take damage from Marines. But if you have no units under it, yeah, they can just... Oh, man. Alright, so Hero had to prove me wrong in that game. Good job to mine. He did a good attack. He was barely held off, and his reinforcements managed to take it home. So, alright, we will see if Hero does any better in Game 2. So I will see you then.